all the graduating students are requested to proceed to their designated seats. Changing seats is not allowed. It disturbs the conference protocol. Please return to your designated seats only. Graduating students are requested to proceed to their seats promptly. They are instructed to sit on their designated seats. Changing seats are not allowed. Please follow the protocol and sit on your designated seats.
Romanagers, please ensure that all in your attendance list have taken the seats.
As we prepare to begin, I request everybody to switch off your mobile phones or put them on silent mode. Thank you for helping us maintaining the grace and dignity of convocation. Graduating students are requested to be seated promptly. Please adhere to your designated seats. Miss Ayushi Bangla, PGP-LSM, if you are around. Miss Ayushi, PGP-LSM. Please report to your row manager. I request everybody to be seated in the convocation venue. The academic procession will begin shortly. I kindly request all the parents and members of family of the graduating students to refrain from coming towards the stage or the aisle for photographs. All the photographs will be uploaded on the website and can be downloaded from there. So I'm just waiting for. Yes, yes. Done? Ladies and gentlemen, the academic procession will now enter the venue. All are requested to stand up and remain standing till all the dignitaries on the dais have occupied their seats. May I request you to please switch off your cell phones for the duration of the convocation for a smooth conduct. Further, I request parents and members of family of the graduating students to refrain from coming to the front side of dais for taking photographs. Photographs of all graduating students will be uploaded on the website. I request everybody to remain standing for the invocation.
Maitreem bhajata akila hrijetreem. Maitreem bhajata akila hrijetreem. Atmavadeva paranapi pashyata. Atmavadeva paranapi pashyata. Yuddham tyajata spartham tyajata. Yuddham tyajata spartham tyajata. Tyajata pareshvakramakramanam. Tyajata pareshvakramakramanam. Maitreem bhajata akhila hrijetreem.
Please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Chairperson Board of Governors, Ms. Vinita Bajoria, Member BOG, will be officiating the proceedings of this convocation.
I declare the convocation open.
May we request the Chairperson BOG to formally welcome the Chief Guest, Professor Soumitra Dutta, Dean, Saïd Business School, University of Oxford, for presenting an Angavastram. May we request the Chairperson BOG to formally welcome the guest of honor, Ms. Radhika Gupta, MD and CEO, Edelweiss, by presenting an Angavastram. May we request the Chairperson BOG to deliver her address.
Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Soumitra Dutta, Dean, Saïd Business School, University of Oxford, esteemed guest of honor, Mrs. Radhika Gupta, MD and CEO, Edelweiss Mutual Fund, Director of the Institute, Professor Debashish Chatterjee, my colleagues on the board of IIM Kozhikode, members of the faculty and staff, distinguished invitees, graduating students, and their proud parents, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is with immense joy and profound honor that I welcome each one of you to this momentous occasion, the 27th Annual Convocation of the Indian Institute of Management, Kozhikode. Today, we celebrate not just the culmination of an academic journey, but the beginning of new aspirations, responsibilities, and possibilities. We are privileged to have with us this evening our esteemed chief guest, Professor Soumitra Dutta, Dean of Saïd Business School, University of Oxford. Sir, we are truly grateful for your presence and look forward to the wisdom and inspiration you will share with us today. We are equally honored to welcome our distinguished guest of honor, Mrs. Radhika Gupta, MD and CEO of Edelweiss Mutual Fund, a trailblazer in the financial sector. Ma'am, your presence elevates this occasion, and we deeply appreciate your gracious acceptance of our invitation. A heartfelt congratulations to our graduating students. The day is the culmination of years of relentless hard work, intellectual rigor, and personal growth. It is a moment of great pride, not only for you, but also for your families, mentors, and well-wishers who have supported you on this journey. Today, you step forward as ambassadors of IIM Kozhikode, carrying forward its legacy of excellence and impact. It is both an honor and a privilege for me to present a very brief profile of our distinguished chief guest and esteemed guest of honor. So, we extend our sincere gratitude to both Professor Dutta and Mrs. Gupta for their presence and for sharing their invaluable insights with us today. As we celebrate the achievements of our graduating students, it is important to acknowledge the unwavering support of their families and the steadfast dedication of our faculty. Your resilience, commitment, and passion have laid the foundation for the success we witness today. Education is undergoing an era of unprecedented transformation driven by globalization, technological advancements, and evolving market demands. Business schools must not only grow in scale, but also sustain the highest standards of academic excellence. At IIM Kozhikode, we have embraced this challenge with a steadfast commitment to fostering intellectual leadership, nurturing innovation, and equipping our students to navigate the complexities of the modern business landscape. Over the past 28 years, IIM Kozhikode has carved a niche as a beacon of academic excellence. Our programs seamlessly integrate research, industry collaboration, and global perspectives to create leaders who are not only competent but also visionaries. Our distinguished faculty draws from academia and industry, ensure our students receive a holistic learning experience that blends theory with real-world application. IIM Kozhikode has been consistently ranked among the top business schools in India and globally. Recognized by prestigious national and international bodies, it has earned accolades for academic excellence, research impact, and leadership in innovation. Its commitment to shaping future business leaders has reinforced its position as a premier management institute. I am truly honored to witness a historic moment as we celebrate the graduation of 38 exceptional PhD scholars in the 27th annual convocation, marking the highest number of doctoral degrees ever awarded in a single convocation at our esteemed institute. This extraordinary milestone reflects the relentless pursuit of knowledge, the unwavering dedication of our scholars, and the Institute's commitment to academic excellence. From a humble beginning with just 2 PhD graduates in 2013, we have now reached a stage where these 38 brilliant minds are poised to shape the future of research, innovation, and thought leadership. This remarkable growth is not just a reminder and not just a number. It is a reflection of the Institute's vision, its evolving intellectual ecosystem, and the aspirations of those who dare to push the boundaries of human knowledge. I would like to take this opportunity to express my deep appreciation for our director, Professor Debashish Chatterjee, whose visionary leadership has propelled IIM Kozhikode to new heights. My heartfelt gratitude also goes to my colleagues on the board, the Ministry of Education, Government of India, and the Government of Kerala for their invaluable guidance and support. I thank our faculty and staff for their relentless dedication and the media for amplifying our achievement to the world. The alumni of our esteemed institute embody a lifelong bond with their alma mater, contributing passionately to its growth and legacy. Their unwavering engagement across various initiatives strengthens our institution, enriching its vision and impact. We take immense pride in our distinguished alumni who serve on the board, offering invaluable leadership and guidance. Their dedication is a testament to the deep-rooted commitment they hold for IIMK, inspiring future generations to uphold the same spirit of excellence and service. Dear graduates, today is a milestone, but it is only the beginning of your journey. The world ahead is filled with opportunities, challenges, and infinite possibilities. Let your dreams be bold, your efforts relentless, your integrity unwavering, embrace change, pursue excellence, and lead with courage and conviction. As you step into the professional world, remember that true success is not just about personal achievement, but about creating impact and uplifting others. Stay curious, keep learning, and let your journey be a beacon of inspiration for those who follow. Congratulations once again. May your future be bright, fulfilling, and extraordinary. Thank you, and Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am, for this address. May we request our director, Professor Debashish Chatterjee, for his address.
Good evening. Permit me to begin with a poem I wrote specially for this graduating class. Not yet. Let me read the poem. Step forward into the space only you can fill, not with certainty, but with willingness to begin, not with answers, but with the questions that shape new worlds. There is a road beyond the known paths, where ambition meets integrity, where profit and purpose shake hands, where failure is not an ending, but an opening. You are not here to follow the old trail. You are here to carve something unseen, to turn hesitation into momentum and doubt into the doorway of possibility. So go with fire that is blazing inside you, with vision in your stride, and with quiet knowing that the best work of your life is just about to begin. Thank you. A warm welcome to our graduating students on this beautiful day of celebration and achievement. Joining us today are our chief guest, Professor Soumitra Dutta, Dean of Saïd's Business School, University of Oxford. Our very distinguished guest of honor, Ms. Radhika Gupta, Managing Director and CEO of Edelweiss Mutual Funds. While our esteemed chairman of the IIMK Board of Governors, Sri A. Vilayan, is unable to join us in person today, his guidance and unwavering support continue to inspire us. I welcome the eminent members of the IIMK Board of Governors, respected faculty and staff, family and parents, our friends in the media, and most importantly, our graduating students, the stars of this occasion. Can I have a standing ovation, particularly for your teachers and your parents who are here? Can you all get up? And please give them a standing ovation. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Please sit down. It is my utmost privilege to stand here at this threshold of the 27th Annual Convocation of the Indian Institute of Management Kozhikode. As we gather to celebrate this momentous occasion, it is only fitting that we are graced by some truly luminous personalities. Our chief guest, Soumitra Dutta, is a distinguished academic leader and a global authority on innovation in the knowledge economy. Previously, the founding dean of the Cornell S.C. Johnson College of Business and a former deputy dean at INSEAD in France, he has played a pivotal role in shaping business education worldwide. As the co-founder of the Global Innovation Index and the Network Readiness Index, his insights continue to influence policy and industry. An IIT Delhi graduate and a distinguished alumnus with a PhD from UC Berkeley, Professor Dutta contributes to global initiatives on business and technology. He deserves a big hand. Thank you. Radhika Gupta, MD and CEO, virtually needs the introduction to this group of students. However, I need to give one. She is the CEO of Edelweiss Mutual Fund, is a trailblazer in the financial world, leading the economy's remarkable growth from, the company's remarkable growth from 6,500 crores to over 1.40 lakh crores by 2024. A Wharton graduate, hedge funds manager, entrepreneur, and author of the best-selling book, Limitless, Radhika's inspiring journey of resilience and self-belief has made her a sought-after speaker and thought leader around the world. Recognized among India's most powerful women in business by Forbes, Fortune, and Business Today, and named a young global leader by the World Economic Forum, she continues to redefine leadership and financial empowerment on global platforms. Please give both of them, give her a big hand too. Thank you. From our humble beginnings with a pioneering batch of 45 students in 1999, IIM Kozhikode has grown to be a beacon of excellence in management education. Today, we proudly confer degrees upon 481 PGP students, 67 students from our one-year MBA program, PGP-BL, and 50 students each from PGP-Finance and PGP Liberal Studies and Management. IIMK also is set to celebrate a landmark academic milestone, as you heard before, record 29 scholars, the highest among the first generation of IIM of PhD students graduating from here. Even more significant is our gender representation. 66% of the doctoral graduates are women, the highest female representation across all IIMs. You are the torchbearers of IIMK's illustrious legacy. You also deserve a big hand. Thank you. As I recollect the milestones and achievement, I seek your patience. I know it's not easy to be patient to enable me to run through the milestone achievements. Over the past year, IIMK has made remarkable strides. Our commitment to academic excellence has earned us the highest recognition from global accrediting bodies. We proudly retain our AMBA for 5 years and secure a requisite reaccreditation for another 5 years. With our ASSB membership on track, we stand on the brink of joining the prestigious League of Triple Crown institutions, an honor held by less than 1% of business schools worldwide. In the NRF rankings 2024, IIMK continues to shine, maintaining our top 3 position among all management institutes in the country. We continue to ascend on the global stage, solidifying our position among the world's premier institutions. In the prestigious Financial Times rankings, our postgraduate program secured the 68th spot in the Masters of Management 2024 category. Our management development programs were ranked 70th globally in Open Executive Education 2024. Notably, our PGP Business Leadership programs, which was initiated in 2019, made an impressive debut, earning the 86th position in the Financial Times Global MBA 2025 rankings. PGP-Finance also became the sole IIM program to feature in the global list at an impressive rank for QS, Masters in Finance category for 2025. Yes, please, don't hesitate. Go ahead. Thank you. You'll be amazed to know that PGP-BL IIM Kozhikode's one-year MBA offering was started only in 2019, whereas PGP-Finance was introduced only in 2020. The fact that it took these 2 new programs just under 5 years to break into the QS rankings is a testament to the hard work and dedication of our faculty, students, and alumni. This recognition reinforces our vision to be a leader in management education in the pursuit of globalizing Indian thought. Beyond academic excellence, we continue to create an inclusive and sustainable campus, from the installation of a capsule-type elevator for persons with disabilities to the expansion of our rainwater harvesting capacity and sustainable energy initiatives. We are dedicated to reducing our carbon footprints. Our ongoing carbon audit is a step towards achieving net zero emissions. Nurturing careers and lifelong learning is a way of life here. Recognizing the rapid changes in the global business landscape, IIM Kozhikode has launched CARE, a platform for corporate access, readiness, and engagement. This initiative has empowered our students with workshops, case analysis sessions, and role-specific training, stimulating in an institutionalized placement process that has earned praise from the corporate world. We are proud to share that IIM Kozhikode has been the driving force behind reimagining the B-School transition from employment to employability. These efforts of CARE led to 180 plus leading recruiters participating in the placement process, with 80 plus new recruiters hiring across multiple domains this year. The summer internship placement was completed successfully, with 562 students securing 650 internship offers, marking an impressive year-on-year increase of nearly 20%. We'd like to acknowledge the efforts of PGP Students Placement Committee members for their unwavering commitment, relentless effort, and exceptional teamwork in making the process a resounding success. Empowering dreams through scholarships at IIM Kozhikode, we also believe that financial constraints should never stand in the way of talent and ambition. This year, we have extended our support to 86 deserving students through the IIMK's need-based financial assistance, allocating 4.62 crores. Notably, 73 students received full tuition fee support, while 13 were awarded partial assistance. Additionally, as part of our commitment to inclusive education, 960 students have benefited from the one-time Scholarship for All scheme. At IIM Kozhikode, our students consistently push boundaries, competing and excelling at the highest levels across diverse domains. Their remarkable achievements in national competition and industry challenges stand as a testament to their talent, perseverance, and the culture of excellence we nurture. The display screens here will give you a quick rundown on the stellar achievements of our students for the year 24-25. Testing your patience again, I shall name a few. Mr. Sanvi Bhutani, PGP 28, achieved the title of Global Winner of the Youth for Climate competition organized by UNDP and Italian Ministry of Environment and Energy Security. Give her a big hand. Astha Arora, DPM students, has been awarded this year's Emerging Scholars from Emerging Market Program of the Academy of International Business. A big hand for her as well. Harshan Gowda, PGP student, was declared a national winner in the Prodmaster event, a product and brand management program. Ms. Madhurima Basu, doctoral student, received the 2024 AIB Doctoral Travel Stipend Award. Please applaud their achievements. Thank you. For the academic year 23-24, IIM Kozhikode faculty have published 142 referee journal articles, 112 conference papers, and 72 case studies, and 3 FT50 journal publications. Congratulations to Professor Satish Krishnan, Professor Srijis, and Professor Rupak Kumar Gupta for getting their articles published in FT50 journals. A big hand for them. Our centers of excellence have done excellent work. The Center for Pedagogical Innovation, Gyanodaya, has processed over 60 case studies, established partnership with Harvard Business School, publishing, and launched Pandulipi, our manuscript management system. IIMK Live, our entrepreneurial development center, continues to nurture innovation, supporting 189 startups that have collectively generated 231 crores in revenue and created 1,436 jobs. Meanwhile, our Center for Excellence for Social Innovation has played a vital role in projects like World Bank and Sikkim government's Inspires initiative. Urupika, IIM Kozhikode Center for Excellence in Macroeconomics, Banking and Finance made significant strides this year with 10 research papers published in international journals, numerous opinion pieces and media engagements influencing public policy discourse. Its flagship second annual conference on finance for growth amid creative disruptions, held in collaboration with the National Stock Exchange, saw an overwhelming response with over 2,800 participants. The spirit of IIM Kozhikode never ceases to inspire. As you step into the world beyond these gates, I urge you to carry with you the values that define IIM Kozhikode: Satyam, Nityam, Purnam, authenticity, sustainability, and fulfillment. Strive to be competent yet compassionate, bold yet responsible. Keep the IIMK flag flying high as you navigate the challenges ahead. This institute will always remain your home. Come back often to share your stories, inspire the next generation, and relive the memories you created here. The bonds you have built, the lessons you have learned, and the resilience you have shown will serve you as guiding light. You now stand at the doorway of the possible. And the world does not need your hesitation. It needs your presence, your risk, your fire. Let me conclude with those beautiful lines from the poet Gulzar, particularly for those of you who are about to leave the comforts of your home and family for the larger world of achievement. You will find your destination even if you wander a little. The truly lost are those that never step out of their homes. These are Gulzar's lines. Manzil mil hi jayegi, manzil to mil hi jayegi, bhatak kar hi sahi. Manzil to mil hi jayegi, bhatak kar hi sahi. You will find your destination even if you wander a little. Gumrah to wo hai jo ghar se nikle hi nahi. Gumrah to wo hai jo ghar se nikle hi nahi. Be well, my friends. Thank you. And Jai Hind.
I would like to invite our guest of honor, Mrs. Radhika Gupta, to please come and deliver her address.
Distinguished guests, faculty, incredibly proud parents, and all the graduates in this room today, good evening. I'm genuinely honored to be here. Thank you for having me. It's an absolutely beautiful campus. In fact, it's so beautiful that I wonder if you actually do get any studying done here or not. I'll ask the director that over dinner. As some of you know, I don't have an MBA. In fact, I don't even have a master's degree, perhaps because I know how much effort it is to get one. So being here on this stage today is as close as I am to getting an MBA, and I've been showing off to my MBA brother since morning that I'm speaking to kids at IIMK. I'm also, as you can gather, a little nervous to be here. because I've realized that smart young people like you want very little advice from people like me who are on the wrong side of 40. And I'm also partly nervous because I don't know what success mantras I can share with you. Because when you graduate from an institution like this one, it is assumed that you are hardworking, that you are focused, and it is almost guaranteed that you will be among the top 1% of people in this country. So what I thought I'd do is share with you 3 lessons that I learned after I walked out of the doors that you will walk out of exactly 20 years ago from an equally prestigious institution. You can call them the lessons between standing on that side and standing on this side of the stage. And as many of you know, since all I have done is invest and spend time in the stock market, my lessons can only be investing lessons. Now, if any of you students, parents, or faculty are looking to get some stock tips, if you listen carefully, you might just get a stock tip or 2. So pay attention. The first lesson I want to tell you about is about greed. And greed is a very predictable thing for someone in my business to talk about. I spent the first 20 years of my life following all the rules. If you've seen the movie, I was scholar Naina from Ye Jawani Hai Diwani, who did not turn into Deepika Padukone, to clarify. But I was the topper type, prestigious college, prestigious internship, prestigious first job at McKinsey. In Indian parlance, I was Sharma ji ki beti. After McKinsey, I got rejected from the career opportunity that most consultants were supposed to pursue next, which is private equity. So I found myself at a small hedge fund, AQR Capital, that hired me only because the founder was an alumnus of the same college. And I spent the initial part of my career doing quantitative investing. A few years later, I decided to move back to India, a country I had never lived in, to start a hedge fund, Forefront Capital, an asset class and business that essentially was not even recognized by the regulator formally then. And a few years later, I chose to become the CEO of a small mutual fund that was ranked 36th out of 40 in its industry. As all kids from IIM will know, 36 out of 40 is not a particularly great rank. These look like stupid decisions, and I made 3 of them in a row. I can promise you that there is no glory about living in a tiny 1-bedroom apartment in Mumbai with no salary and car when your classmates come from family businesses and have post-B school business cards with 7 lakhs left in the bank. There is so little glory about being the CEO of a small mutual fund that when I joined this industry, I went to a conference, and as I went to the buffet to get lunch, a gentleman came to me and said, "Welcome. I just want to tell you, Radhika, I feel really bad for you." And I said, "Why do you feel bad for me?" Because I was feeling pretty good about myself. He said, "You're a CEO of a small AMC. Nobody even wants to talk to you." These are stupid, inglorious decisions, and any Sharmaji, Sen Gupta, or Srinivasanji would have hated them because they are stupid, short-term decisions. Each of these are risks, and risks look scary and they feel expensive. How has this panned out in the long term? Well, the small hedge fund stint gave me the foundation of quantitative investing, which is at the heart of what we run at Edelweiss Mutual Fund today. It's a skill that has evolved and is in demand in India now as the asset management industry has evolved, and working with the masters 20 years ago puts me in a unique place. The Forefront stint forced me to move from investment professional to saleswoman, marketing strategist, compliance guru, tax whiz, and pantry girl. These are all essential skills for an AMC CEO, including managing the pantry. And running a small mutual fund that nobody else wanted to run gave me the freedom to build a business on a fresh canvas without baggage. Risk is an expense in the short term and an investment in the long term. In my world, money managers have to beat something called a benchmark to survive. The higher the outperformance to the benchmark, the better a manager is considered. 20 years of being in this business, and I have learned one thing, that if you want to beat the benchmark in a big way, you don't do it by copying the benchmark. You do it by taking big, bold bets that look like acts of short-term foolishness. And you guys can afford that. Do you know what the greatest asset you have is at 25? It's not your degree, it's not your salary, it's not your network. It's time. You can afford to take moonshots. Take them. Optimize for the next decade, not for the next job. Chase the steepest learning curve, not the highest paying offer. Take big bets and remember that you are an appreciating asset. My second lesson is about fear. Now, fear rhymes with greed. It also works well in finance. So in 2024, lakhs of people in India paid a lot of money and put lots of effort into doing something that was all over Instagram and Facebook and Twitter for weeks. It was attending the concert of a band called Coldplay. Have you heard of them? We've heard of Coldplay. A week before the concert, my closest group of friends and I were sitting and discussing which date they were attending the concert, who had what seats, and all the logistics. Someone noticed that I was unusually quiet in the conversation and asked me, "So Radhika, when are you going to the concert?" And I said, "I'm not." And they looked at me very strangely and someone said, "Why?" And I said, "I don't like the music. I just listen to Hindi music." Now, why am I telling you this trivial and silly sounding story? When I was 13, I went to an American school in Nigeria and they took us for a field trip. Over lunch, all the students were eating hamburgers, and I am a vegetarian, so I don't eat hamburgers. Now, when you are abroad, you're a chubby, awkward teenager with a thick Indian accent. Being vegetarian is one more socially unacceptable thing to do. So I refused to admit it. I went into a corner, took the hamburger, threw the meat patty out of it, and pretended to eat the hamburger by eating the buns just so I could fit in. I've told many white lies like this growing up, including refusing to admit that I did not know how to drive a car on the first day of my job at McKinsey, and then crashing the car into a parking lot in front of the client CEO. These sound funny, but all of these white lies stem from a lack of confidence. And my journey from hamburger anxiety to Coldplay confidence has been a long one. All of us are taught to fit into a box: science, arts, commerce, academician, athlete, whatever, in the first 25 years of life and follow the herd. Being part of the crowd is comfortable and sticking out is scary. Ironically, as someone who invests in businesses for a living, the first question we ask ourselves when we look at a business is, what's different? Because the best businesses don't follow the market, they define it. Originals command disproportionately higher value than the best replicas, and trust me on this, I've spent a lot of money buying luxury handbags. I'll tell you a little secret that not many people know. I haven't studied Hindi beyond the 6th grade because my father left India, and I can't read or write Hindi fluently. I speak it only because my parents spoke a little Hindi at home and because I watched too many Hindi films as a kid for my own good. Last year, I was invited at an occasion like this to receive the honorary doctorate at the University of Gorakhpur in Eastern UP at an event attended by the state governor. I had to address a large audience like this on the occasion, and not surprisingly, being the Hindi heartland UP, people in the state are exceptionally fluent with the language. When I received the written invite like the one here, I panicked because the standard of Hindi was so advanced, I couldn't even figure out when it was my turn to speak. I worried and worried about being the odd one out and falling flat. When the day finally came to make the speech, I did the simplest but the most difficult thing to do. I faced my fears. I confessed at the beginning of the address that I had limitations with the language and I would speak Hindi, But please forgive me for all my mistakes and imperfections. I made a lot of mistakes, but I got a lot of laughs and a lot of loves just for my honesty. Please have the conviction to be different and the confidence to tell your story. Fear makes you blend in. Confidence will make you stand out. The best investors, companies, and leaders at some point of their life have been called fools. So the next time you face a Coldplay moment, ask yourself, if I wasn't afraid of what everyone else thought, what would I say? What would I do? The last lesson, and it had to be this, is about buying, selling, and surviving. This story is going to be depressing for some of you, so I apologize in advance. My first job was as a management consultant, and like many prospective consultants, I believed I would be giving life-changing advice to company CEOs at the age of 22. Business class travel, fancy suits, strategic discussions, white smoke emerging. My first project was to work at an electronics retailer, a little bit like the Chroma of India, and it was about cost cutting. I had to report to the warehouse at 4 a.m., stay there till 10 p.m. when the cash counters closed, including on weekends because that's when stores are busy. And what did I do? I carried timesheets with little 15-minute intervals, followed people around, and documented what they did. I worked 100 hours a week. I ate chocolate cake at 1 a.m. to feel better, and I cried in the store bathroom once a week. But I survived. The world outside the doors of this beautiful campus is a volatile, messy, chaotic place, much like the stock market. And the mess doesn't come with explanations. The best just learn to accept it and thrive. I knew consulting was not for me after the analyst program, and I say this with no disrespect to the profession. So I joined the money business. As an individual, it's important to know when you're not learning and becoming redundant. Whether in companies or careers, if you're not seeing value being built, if you're not coming to work charged up, please press the sell button. Till I joined Edelweiss Group, most of my career was managing money for large institutions. But by then I had lived in India and started investing my personal money into mutual funds. I was doing SIPs. It became obvious as a consumer that mutual funds were a great product, and the real opportunity in India was in retail financial services, building for the girl who invests 100 rupees, not 100 crores. It just had to grow. If you are perennially curious, if you're talking to people, if you're understanding what is going on, you will get buying signals in your own career. You will see places where there are problems to solve for a large number of people, where value can be built. Jump in, buy, and pivot. Pivots aren't easy, by the way, for the topper type. It means going from class topper to bottom of the totem pole and starting all over again. It meant for me 4 days of travel every week for the first 2 years as a CEO to understand the landscape of retail. And it meant taking public speaking lessons to do what has now been 1,000+ talks in the last 3 years. And in case you think my lesson has turned from investing to trading, the last thing I'll tell you is that when you have found a winner in your career, it's important to stay the course and compound. As your director said, I've been building from 5,000 to 1.5 lakh crores, from 10,000 consumers to 25 lakh. There have been years of slow growth, hell, degrowth in 2018 and 19, and rocket-like growth in the last few years. But I'm learning, growing, and enjoying what I'm doing. And I believe there have been 3 companies in the one I'm building. The best of stocks and companies and investors go through hell because the market doesn't always reward the value you're building. When you've got a good thing going, don't get bored. So there it is. Be long-term greedy. Don't be afraid to be different, and stay agile. You know, my father was a career diplomat. His title was Ambassador of India. Essentially, he was someone who marketed India for a living. As an investor, this is what I do too. I can promise you the India story has only gotten better. When I grew up, in 7th class, I went to an American school in Nigeria, and as strange as it sounds, when I said I was an Indian, a classmate came to me and said, "In your country, do they go to school on elephants?" I recently went back to college for an executive program at Harvard with a group of students from 50 different countries of the World Economic Forum. Today, people look to India with respect and optimism as an example of innovation, entrepreneurship, scale, inclusion, growth. But here is a secret. When people like me make those pitches about India, do you know what the single most powerful part of the story is? It's not the stock market, it's not the startup movement, it's not the government. It's in this room. It's you guys, our young people, the great Indian demographic dividend that will define the trajectory of this country. I promise you, you have more opportunities than any generation has. And to the 50+% women in this audience, please cheer for yourself. I promise you, it's never been a better time to be an ambitious young woman in this country. Use these opportunities. Be fearless. Take those big long-term bets and add value by solving real problems that will build a more prosperous India for many, many Indians. Congratulations to the family and students of class of 2025. Students, the stock market is open. Your bull run starts right now. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
I request Professor Soumitra Dutta, Dean, Saïd School of Business, University of Oxford, to deliver his address.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a hard act to follow Radhika. She's a brilliant speaker, an amazing role model, I think, for each one of you, both female and male. And I think this is also why I'm very optimistic about the India story today. So let me begin with my usual salutations. So, Director Professor Chatterjee, the board members, the faculty, the students, families. This is a very, very special day, and you know it, and I think it is good to celebrate. Celebrations are always great. This is a day of celebration. So enjoy, live every moment of the day today. Now, when I was flying into Kozhikode, I actually happened to see one of your students, I don't know, current or graduating. He was having a backpack. And the backpack had the slogan, "Globalizing Indian Thought," which Professor and Director Chatterjee has really made the imprint of Kozhikode. So I just walked up to him and asked him, "Are you a student at IIM Kozhikode?" He said, "Yes," very proudly. Then I asked him, "What does this mean, globalizing Indian thought?" He looked at me in this strange way, saying that, "How come you're asking me? I mean, you're Indian, or at least Indian looking. Why are you asking me this?" But then he humored me, and then he gave me the response, which was brief and I think beautiful. He responded, "It means India matters." Think about it for a second. India matters is the reality of today. I was smiling when Radhika mentioned the story in Nigeria, because I have a similar story from many years ago when I went to America in 1985. So we have these socialization, welcome parties of foreign students. And there one American young man, actually became a very close friend of mine later, came up to me to be friendly. And when he knew that I was from India, he asked me the question, did you go to school in a bullock cart? It was a very innocent question, nothing negative, no biases, because that was the image that a lot of people had about India in the mid-80s. I fast forward another 20 years, and I was passing through immigration in Zurich. And I put my Indian passport on the desk of the immigration agent. He looked at my passport, he looked at me, and the first question to me was, are you a software programmer? And in a way it was true because my PhD is in computer science, but for me it was a very important moment of reflection, how the world's impression of India has changed completely. Today, if you live in America, the average American thinks that all Indians are geniuses. Why? Because their impression of Indian is from the doctor. Most doctors are Indian origin. If you look at their impression of technical support, most of the technical people they meet are all Indians. So the image of India actually is extremely positive right now. Now, I forgot to say that I also want to congratulate Director Chatterjee because he has done something which is very essential for the future of India. He is helping build and transform Indian education. You're very lucky to have him as a director because he has transformed IIM Kozhikode. Congratulations, Director. I also must say that I'm very happy to be here because this is my first visit to Kerala. And even though this is my first visit to Kerala, my son-in-law is from Kerala. Okay? And my two grandchildren are therefore half from Kerala. So I have very close roots and connections to this wonderful state. So I'm very happy to be here today at IIM Kozhikode with all you wonderful students and in this wonderful state of Kerala. I started by saying about the role that India is playing in the world today. And the world today certainly is in a state of flux. I don't have to tell you this, but you read this every day. Yesterday was Liberation Day in America. You have today a whole set of reactions to the new tariffs coming in place. And actually, if you think about it, this flux may not necessarily be a bad thing. Why do I say this? Is because, yes, there is uncertainty, there is turmoil, there will be some back and forth zigzag movements, but a flux also gives a moment of change. The world order that was put in place after the Second World War is ripe for change. When I said earlier, the quote from your fellow student, India matters, it is so much so true in geopolitics and the global economy today. The Indian economy, most people feel, will soon become the third biggest economy in the world. As the third biggest economy, yes, you will be the drivers of it and you will benefit from it. As the third biggest economy in the world, we as a country need to have a voice in the way the world is shaped. And these old structures, was, for example, not having a seat of Security Council, or us not being part of many other global governance mechanisms, have to change. So this is also a moment of reflection, a moment of positive change, and a moment of action. So don't get discouraged by temporary reactions of, yes, there will be some competitive pressures. If, for example, America forces the opening up of the Indian markets, yes, some companies will suffer in the short run. But on the whole, it may actually, if done strategically, will help India reinforce a strong position on the global stage. Now, in my own comments, I wanted to focus on also 3 points, following the tradition of Radhika. And the first one really is around exploration. The second theme is around questioning. And the third theme is around courage for action. So let me sort of begin with the theme of exploration. You know, one of my, I think, fundamental transformation points happened when I went to study in America 40 years ago. And the reason was less because I learned about America, of course I did, but more because I discovered more about myself. And this is one of the amazing things that happens when you actually immerse yourself in another culture. Because by seeing the differences with another culture, you actually start understanding your own self better, your own biases, your own perspectives, much more in a deeper and a more sensible manner. And this is something that I would strongly encourage each one of you to do. The world is a very big place. This is what I have discovered. The world is not just America and not just a few countries in Europe. The world is big, and the world keeps on changing, and every single location, every single culture has its great opportunities and has also a tremendous potential for you to leverage. I'll tell you a story, a short story about one of my ex-students. He's an Egyptian, and he's actually also Egyptian, but American-Egyptian origin. And I met him once, and he told me that he moved from New York to Egypt. So I asked him, what are you doing in Egypt? I understand it's your home country, but what are you doing out there as a business? He said, you know what? I'm so happy being there because I have a thriving trading business. So I asked him, where do you trade? What do you do? He told me his trading business was essentially buying and selling in all the war-torn economies of Africa and the Middle East. His markets were essentially Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, Yemen, countries that were high-risk zones. And most people would not think of doing business there easily. And here he was actually investing heavily in doing business in those markets and making a killing out there. So it's very important to understand that even regions of the world that don't appear always, let's say, the most attractive at the first glance, can give you tremendous opportunities. One of my favorite questions when I was teaching in America to my students was, I used to often ask them a question, typical MBA class, 75 students, how many of you have visited mainland China? And I used to qualify by saying, not Hong Kong, not Singapore. Many Americans think Singapore is part of China. And in a class of about 70, 75, usually I would get about 5 or 6 hands. And the reality out here is that that is so inadequate. Because today, China is the second biggest economy in the world, not too far of America, and every single American needs to understand China. The same comment I'll make about you, us, we Indians. We need to actually understand China much better than what we do today. Of course, we understand American culture. We see American movies. We have a lot of exposure to American concepts. We don't have much exposure to Chinese culture, how the Chinese actually operate, what makes them special. And this is something which I strongly recommend because China and America are going to be the number 1 and number 2 economies in the world. If India is number 3, we need to know how to actually work in a productive, effective manner with these cultures. So exploration is a very important part, and never be scared or worried about being confronted with different ideas. Being faced with different ideas is a good thing because it actually prepares you to understand yourself better, prepares you to be able to take action in a more effective manner. The second theme that I want to talk about is questioning. You know, if you have worked with professionals in cybersecurity, you know the core of cybersecurity is very simple. They have one team, typically termed as the blue team, that builds out the entire cybersecurity defenses. And then they have another team, a highly professional targeted team called the red team. And the red team's job is very simple. The red team's job is to in fact break down and find faults and question the work of the blue team. Find all the possible ways in which someone else could break the cyber defenses that are being built up. This notion of red teaming is essential. It is something we don't do in business enough. Why? Because in business, we often live in the comfort zone of assumptions that we have taken for granted. This is the way we have done things forever, or this is the way we do things in our culture, or this is the way that things have happened for a number of reasons I don't exactly understand why. Questioning becomes extremely critical. Questioning basic assumptions, questioning all kinds of reasons, good and bad, why you do things a certain way. When sometimes students ask me, what is the essence of leadership? I often give them a simple reason, simple answer. I tell them, leadership is more about being able to ask the right questions as opposed to having the right answers. Being able to ask the right questions is fundamental, because if you ask the right questions, then maybe you have a chance to arrive at a good answer, a better answer, by pulling together knowledge of people around you. If you ask the wrong question, you'll never be in the right path. Now, today is a very good time to ask questions. Why? Because of all the change happening around us, but also to realize that science and technology are driving change at an exponential pace. Today, we are living in a time when we are seeing the confluence of 3 important revolutions: the digital revolution, the biological revolution, and the physical revolution. The combination of these 3 revolutions is going to create enormous new spaces which are growing exponentially. As these spaces grow exponentially, there'll be enormous new opportunities for doing things differently, for questioning what you've been doing traditionally, and for in fact innovating and experimenting with new ways of working and creating value. My own research is in the area of innovation, of digital technologies, and I certainly see this happening so dramatically today. If you look at, for example, artificial intelligence, how will it change the role of the faculty member? You know, we always in education take the role of the faculty member as a given. You know, this is the whole idea of how education has been done for centuries. Tomorrow, if you have really advanced artificial intelligence systems that are capable of not just having conversations and tutoring, but also to be able to provide personalized education and learning over a lifetime. Technology can help you do that. Amazon remembers your entire buying habits for the last 20 years. Why can't a teacher remember all your details and do you a big favor by giving you that kind of personalized learning over a lifetime? How will the role of the professor change in that environment? Today in pharmaceuticals, where you have an enormous cost to drug discovery, new kinds of approaches are changing the way in which drugs and molecules are discovered, created, combined, and the whole space of pharmaceutical drug discovery is changing. Today, if you look at the Indian pharma industry, with one or two exceptions, is largely a generic drug industry. Is this the chance for us to really innovate, come up with new ways of creating new drugs, and come up with wholly new different approaches to building a new, more effective pharmaceutical industry? I always ask the question, why did DeepSeek happen in China? Why not in India? That's a good question for us to ask. Is that why is China doing DeepSeek with second category chips, and why are we in India not able to do it? And I think these are the important questions that we have to ask, because we are no less than Chinese, we are no less than the country than China. Why is it that we don't necessarily have some of the capabilities in some of these areas? So it is very important for us to question and not just take things for granted and not be self-satisfied with the way things are happening. The future is enormously powerful, tremendous possibilities, and it is up to you. You will be the leaders of the future. You will be, in fact, the responsible leaders who will help create the better future in India. The last point is about courage. I'm sure you realize this yourself, but life, most of you are very young, but if you reach, let's say, the other side of 40, for me, I'm 60, it's a different, sort of perspective on life. I look back at life, and I actually ask myself, what were the key moments in my life? Okay, so what were the key moments that defined my individual life experience? And what I find, and this I have verified with other people, and other people agree, and some of you who are in the same age range might actually agree, what you find is that of the set of events that define your life, 80% of those events are unplanned events, things that happen because you didn't plan for them, they just happened. And 20% are planned. Yes, you do plan for some things and you do plan for some things to happen. But what is important is that your reaction to those unplanned events is what defines your life. How do you react to those new opportunities, new possibilities, new emerging things that actually will happen in your life going forward will define how your life will play out. So as you look, many of you are in your early 20s, as you look at your life going forward, trust me, it will not go all as planned. Things will emerge in your life you never thought would happen, or you never expected it to happen. Your reaction to those environments will define who you become and how you lead your life. The most important thing in terms of how you define that action you take is what I would say your perspective to risk and your perspective on having the courage to act. When I talk to people, typically who are older, and I ask them, what is the one regret you have if you could correct, looking back at your life? The most common answer I get is, I wish I had taken more risk in my career. I wish I had done this when I was 25. I wish I had done this when I was 30. And the reality is that many of us, I think especially in India, we do not take enough risks. The classical Indian middle-class, low-risk mentality sometimes holds us hostage. And I think it's very important out here to have the courage to be able to break free from that and to act. Take more risks. And don't have that regret 40 years later as you look back at your lives after graduation. And let me close on what I think is a very fundamental core value that I think we all should cherish. It's of how do you become and lead more humane lives? How do you actually become more human as an individual just at the same time as you're a successful professional? Because to be human is at the core of who we are as people. Now, my own education is in computer science. I did my PhD in computer science. And when I was first faced with this question about 20 years ago, I did not have a good answer for what does it actually mean to be human. How do you define being human? So I went to one of my colleagues, the professor in organizational behavior, and I asked him, his name was Fernando. I said, Fernando, I'm having this question about, I can't really define what does it mean to be human. Can you help me with that? Now, Fernando was a very intelligent professor. Like most good professors, when you have a difficult question, you respond with a question. So he asked me, Soumitra, do you have children? So I said, yes, I have a daughter. You know that, but why are you asking me that question? He asked the second question. He said, why did you have a daughter? So I said, Fernando, that's a very strange question you're asking once again. Help me to understand what are you trying to get at. And then he said, third question. He said, when you decided to have your daughter, did you do a ROI? Did you actually calculate the return on that investment? And I looked at him and said, surely you must be joking. I mean, you're married, your wife, and you have those moments, you don't think about ROIs and incentives at that moment. And then I said, you've asked 3 questions. Now answer my question in a simple manner. Why are you asking these questions? How does it relate to being human? And he basically said, well, look, when you have a child, what you do is you give the best that you have to that individual, the person you have created. And in his view, to be human is to be able to give the best that you have within you to others around you. Of course, your child is the person closest to you, but the same principle arises to other people in your family, other people in neighborhood, in society, and so on. So what I really hope is that as you will succeed, as Radhika said, you are the 1% of India, so guaranteed you will succeed. One way or the other you'll succeed. But as you succeed professionally, as you succeed financially, don't forget to be human. Don't forget your core humanity and your core desire to, in fact, help others, give the best you have to others around you. And you can do that in different ways. People, inspire the people, people give back financially, people help others in different ways with the time, resources. You can find your own way, but ask yourself the question as you graduate from IIM Kozhikode, how can I give the best that I have within me, that God has given me, that parents have given me, to others around me, including, of course, my immediate family. Congratulations again, and good luck with everything you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. May we request the program chairpersons to announce the gold medals.
The Indian Institute of Management Kozhikode gold medals for scholastic performance have been awarded to the following postgraduate program students who will come forward as I call their names in the order of merit and receive the medals from the chief guest. Gold medal for scholastic performance. First, Naman Mehta. Naman, can you come over to the stage? Gold medal for scholastic performance, second, Jatin Bansal. Gold medal for scholastic performance, third, Rahul Kumar Thakur. The Indian Institute of Management Kozhikode Gold Medal for the best all-round performance has been awarded to Naman Mehta, A, who will come forward and receive the medal from the chief guest.
The Indian Institute of Management Kozhikode Gold Medal for Academic Excellence in Postgraduate Program in Business Leadership has been awarded to Valerie Nayak, who will come forward and receive the medal from the chief guest. The Indian Institute of Management Kozhikode Gold Medal for All-Round Excellence has been awarded to Anant Krishnan, Geet Krishnan, who will come forward and receive the medal from the chief guest.
The Indian Institute of Management Kozhikode Gold Medal for Scholastic Performance in the Postgraduate Program in Finance has been awarded to Vemparala Venkat, who will come forward and will receive the medal from the guest of honor. The Indian Institute of Management Kozhikode Gold Medal for the best all-round performance has been awarded to Vipul Jain, who will come forward and receive the medal from the guest of honor.
The Indian Institute of Management Kozhikode Gold Medal for Scholastic Performance in the Postgraduate Program in Liberal Studies and Management has been awarded to, any guesses? G. Ikshita, who will come forward and will receive the medal from the guest of honor. The Indian Institute of Management Kozhikode Gold Medal for the best all-round performance has been awarded to G. Ikshita, who will come forward and receive the medal from the guest of honor. May we request the program chairpersons to present the candidates for the award of degrees.
Candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, please rise. The candidates will now receive their Doctor of Philosophy degrees. The cohort of graduating scholars will now come together and receive their degrees individually from the chairperson, BOG, and director. Upon receiving their degrees, they will then return to their seats and remain standing. Arya Sen, Sana Tebasam, Sana Tebasam, Fatima Siana, Rona Elizabeth Kurian, Pooja Bhatia, Vishalakshi Sashikala, Diksha Singh, Ananya Gogai, Kiran Jyoti Mahasur, Labiba K, Madhurima Basu, Deepak Srivastav, Liji James, Karthik N, Geetika Raj, Sanchari Guha Niyogi, Shivrinder Pal, Swaran Rajan, Anant Krishnan BK, Meera Davi Chalsheri, Anisha MA, Aparna M. Verma, Janvi Patil, Irfan Shamin. Chairperson, Board of Governors, upon the recommendation of the Academic Council, I have the honor to present Arya Sen and 28 others who have successfully completed the prescribed course of studies and fulfilled all other requirements for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, and request you to confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy on these candidates, of whom 24 are present and 5 will receive the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in absentia.
By the authority given to me by the members of the Board of Governors, Indian Institute of Management, Kozhikode, I award you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, and I charge that by thought, word, and deed, you prove yourself worthy of the award.
Thank you.
All candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration, please rise. The candidates will now receive their degree of Master of Business Administration. The cohort of 10 graduating students will now come together and receive their degree individually from the chairperson, BOG, and director. Upon receiving their degree, they will then return to their seats and remain standing. Aarti, Divyanshi, Abdul Wahid, Gaurav, Abhay Gunashekaran, Abhishri Harshal, Ahana Harshal, Aishwarya Harshit, Aishwarya Hemant, Aman Indrajit, Aniket Kanishk, Ankit Kirti. Ankit Sai Gayatri, Ankit Raj Mahadik, Anupam Mandeep, Arya Manish, Astha Manjushri, Ayush Mohan, Ayush Mohit, Darshan Muskan, Divyajyoti Naveen, Dinesh Niranjan, Parth Deeptashri, Harshita Parnavi, Jayant Piyush, Shravani Pragyam, Kavya Prerana, Kashish Puneet, Krishna Rashi, Shilpa Ravish, Manan Riya, Meghna Sanket, Muskan Sahil, Naman Samarth, Dia Sharon, Neil Shishir, Nikita Shubham, Nitin Shubhangi, Pujit Pranay, Shrishti Pratik, Shubhamadi, Rahul, Sujal, Kailash, Swati, Ritu, Swati, Sandra, Tanya, Santosh, Ananya, Soumya, Vidhi, Yashita, Shalini, Shreyas, Yogini, Aditya, Swastika, Akash, Vaibhav, Akshay, Vedant, Amrut, Vasudeva Rao, Ankit, Yukta, Anurag, Adit, Archit, Aditi, Arpita, Akanksha, Arshdeep, Aman, Ashish, Anfa, Ayush, Apurva, Ashutosh, Ramakant, Atul, Ashish, Ayush, Pravalika, Nikhil, Donna, Chirag, Dhruvesh, Abhishek, Imidao, Deepak, Gurpreet, Devanshi, Indranil, Harsh, Jasmine, Huda, Kabani, Ishan, Kabir, Kanishka, Karishma, Keshav, Kirandeep, Kushi, Madhav, Kiran, Madhumita, Kaushik, Urvi, Krista, Mansi, Lakshita, Mayank, Megha, Mohit, Milind, Muskan, Namita, Naman, Neha, Nilesh, Pranav, Nishtha, Prerna, Nupur, Prisha, Sankirtana, Ragul, Pranay, Richu, Parth, Rishabh, Rishabh Jain, Priyesh, Rishabh Panchal, Rachna, Raghav, Ruchi, Rahul, Sakshi, Riya, Saina, Richa, Sharaj, Rohit, Shresht, Shaista, Shreya, Sharanjit, Shreyash, Shreyash Pathak, Shreyash Dukania, Shubhank Shrishti, Soumya Srishti, Srishti Ranjan Surabhi, Swati Sushmita, Tanishk Tanmay, Tanvi Tejasvi, Uddhav Trishla, Utkarsh Vimalesan, Sindhu Vasik, Vinayak Yash Chaudhary, Yashbanka Aheli, Ayushi Aishwarya, Abhishek Akshat, Akshat Verma Abhishek Mantri, Aishwarya Akshita, Anjali Anjana, Anmol Anusha, Anubhav Avi, Archana Jayant, Arka Bhupendra, Aryan Diksha, Ayush Deepak, Ayushi Deepika, Shilpa Devashri, Daryl Dhairya, Deprata Dhanur, Deepti Gopika, Devikripa Harendra, Dimpy Ritik, Gautam Ishika, Ranjit Jayant, Harish Karthik, Ishika Ketan, Ishika Khurana Srinivas, Shweta Waish, Joeta Madan, Sashank Marufa, Kirti Michael, Meghna Nandakumar, Miswar Neema, Nirupam Nihar, Nishant Siri, Nyamatulen Prakhar, Philip Pranav, Prabhash Pratik, Pragati Praveena, Pramit Pravesh, Prashant Priyam, Pratik Rohit, Rabina Sai Priya, Saksham Raghav, Rajashekar Sanjul, Rehan Saswat, Shanika Ritika, Shashank Ronish, Niveta Shivani, Sarang Shubham, Saurav Shubham Parekh, Shri Ganesh Simrat, Saumil Shruti, Sparsh Shweta, Siddharth Srinidhi, Tanveer Stanzin, Tanya Shweta, Vaibhavi Tanya Agarwal, Vaishali Triza, Varsha Vaibhav, Ganesh Vinit, Vivin Siddhi, Vraj Shah Yash, Yash Dhiman, Yash Lazarus, Jagan आशीष, आंचल, आदित्य, अभिनव, ऐश्वर्या, अभिनव यश, अक्षय, अभिषेक एमिल, अनिकेत, आदिति, अनुराग, अमिता, अनुषा, आनंद, अनुष्का, अनन्य, श्रीवर्षा, भूमिका, प्राची, स्मित, इशिता, चारू, भावेश, ध्रुव, तन्मय, इशित, फारिस अली, अपूर्व, गिफ्टसन, गुंजा, हिबा, रयो, हिमांशु, हेमंत, इशिता, हिमांशा, जितेंद्र, इशिका, जितेश, इशिता, मित्तल, जोबिन, जैस्मिन, आदित्य, रोशनी, हरिचंदना, कश्मीरा, कल्याण, केशव, कार्तिक, लक्ष्मणन, तान्या, मयूर, कोमल, मेरिन, लौंजा, निशांत, मैत्री, परेशा, मैरियन, प्रबलीन, मयंक, प्राची, नेहा, अजय, निहाल, राघव, साई निखिल, राकेश, पुरफा, रौनक, प्रजेश, रोहन, प्रत्युष, सलोनी, पूरन, सार्थक, ऋषि, शांभवी, शक्ति प्रियदर्शनी, शेरना, समरीन, Shreyans Sandeep, Shruti Sarvanapriya, Shubham Sejal, Shubhangi Shivani, Sridevi Shrishti, Srishti Siddhant, Shubham Siddharth, Soumya Sohail, Sukirti Sujay, Vidhi Surbi, Vipin Tarun, Vishnu Udit, Atme Vansh, Abhinandan Varsha, Abhishek Vasu, Abhishek Kumar Vedang, Akash Vishweshwar, Akshat Vrinda, Akshay Aman, Amit Vedahi, Ankita Deptanshu, Anurag Akanksha, Ayush Nikita, Srilekha Aanchal, Catherine Kirti, Deep Jyoti Krishna, Divya Jatin, Gajendra Omkar, Chairperson, Board of Governors, upon the recommendation of the Academic Council, I have the honor to present Aarti Parantaman and 480 others of PGP-27 batch who have successfully completed the prescribed course of studies and fulfilled all other requirements for the award of the degree of Master of Business Administration, and request you to confer the degree on these candidates, of whom 470 are present and 11 will receive the degree in absentia.
By the authority given to me by the Board of Governors, Indian Institute of Management, Kozhikode, I award you the degree of Master of Business Administration, and I charge that by thought, word, and deed, you prove yourself worthy of the award.
All candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration, PGP-BL, please rise. The candidates will now receive their degree of Master of Business Administration. The cohort of 10 graduating students will now come together and receive their degrees individually from the chairperson BOG and director. Upon receiving their degrees, they will return to their seats and remain standing. Abhijit Abhiram. Abhishek Avasti, Abhishek Chaudhary. Abhishek Raj, Aditi Banerjee. Aditya Aishwarya. Ajita Amrit. Anant Anderson. Ankita Arzan. Aviroop Neha. Parimala Divyanshu. Gaurav Rathore, Gaurav Arora. Aishwarya Harshit. Himanshu Hemel. Mahesh Ishan. Sandeep Minal. Meher Mridula. Mithun Kumar Venkat Nikhil. Nikhil Navdeep. Nitya Narsimha Vikram. Parag Piali. Pavan Pranjali. Prashant Prerna. Ragul Palanisamy Ramachidambaram. Ragul Palanisamy Ramachidambaram, Sakshi, Raviteja, Saumil, Sanya, Nikunj, Omkar, Sheikh Suhail, Sheikh Aziz, Shilpan, Sarmishta, Sonal, Shraddha, Sonali, Soni, Vinith, Valerie, Yash, Vishal. Chairperson, Board of Governors, upon the recommendation of the Academic Council, I have the honor to present Abhijit Saxena and 66 others of PGP-BL 05 batch who have successfully completed the prescribed course of studies and fulfilled all other requirements for the award of the degree of Master of Business Administration. And I request you to confer the degree on these candidates, of whom 63 are present and 4 will receive their degree in absentia.
By the authority given to me by the Board of Governors, Indian Institute of Kozhikode, Indian Institute of Management Kozhikode, I award you the degree of Master of Business Administration, and I charge that by thought, word and deed, you prove yourself worthy of the award.
All candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration, PGP-Finance, please rise. The candidates will now receive their degree of Master of Business Administration. The cohort of 10 graduating students will now come together and receive their degrees individually from the chairperson, BOG, and director. Upon receiving their degrees, they will then return to their seats and remain standing. Ashish, Pavan, Ayush, Ghanshyam, Abhishek, Prabhat, Mohan Krishna, Pranati, Ankit, Praveen, Atul, Puneet Garg, Shubham, Deepak, Jay Bosamia, Daisy, Rajat Kudana, Ganesh, Raunak, Anurag, Saurav, Divesh Jain, Steve, Ebi Lal, Sunny Singh, Krishna Vamshi, Tejaswin, Hardik, Tushar Chaudhary, Isha Sahar, Udit, Jacob, Utkrisht, Akhil, Venkat, Sai Kushal, Vinu, Kaustav, Vipul, Ravi, Shanmugh Gupta, Manan, Yashwant, Manshul, Priya, Mayuri, Kalyan, Noah Francis. Chairperson, Board of Governors, upon the recommendation of the Academic Council, I have the honor to present Ashish Chauhan and 49 others of PGP-Finance 04 batch who have successfully completed the prescribed course of studies and fulfilled all other requirements for the award of the degree of Master of Business Administration, and request you to confer the degree on these candidates, of whom 48 are present and 2 will receive the degree in absentia.
By the authority given to me by the Board of Governors, Indian Institute of Management, Kozhikode, I award you the degree of Master of Business Administration, and I charge that by thought, word, and deed, you prove yourself worthy of the award.
All candidates for the degree of Master of Business Administration, PGP-LSM, please rise. The candidates will now receive their degree of Master of Business Administration. The cohort of 10 graduating students will now come together and receive their degrees individually from the Chairperson BOG and Director. Upon receiving their degrees, they will then return to their seats and remain standing. Akansha, Muskan, Abdur Rahman, Srilekha, Adya, Shabani, Akash, Payal, Anurag, Purnima. Anushka, Pragya, Ashwini, Prerna, Atul, Rejoy, Sai Kalyan, Riddhi, Ayushi, Rohan. Devang, Shivapriya, Disha, Sagar, Ikshita, Sakshi, Gautam, Shashank, Harini, Shruti. Harsh, Soumya, Henry, Inika, Suraj, Gigi, Swamkar, Keshav, Tushar. Kashish, Vanshika, Khushi, Upasna, Kratika, Vishal, Magan, Mayur, Ajay Ram, Saundarya. Chairperson Board of Governors, upon the recommendation of Academic Council, I have the honor to present Akansha Sinha and 49 others of PGP-LSM 04 batch who have successfully completed the prescribed course of studies and fulfilled all the other requirements for the award of the degree of Master of Business Administration, and request you to confer the degree on these candidates, of whom 49 are present, and 1 will receive the degree in absentia.
By the authority given to me by the Board of Governors, Indian Institute of Management, Kozhikode, I award you the degree of Master of Business Administration, and I charge that by thought, word, and deed, you prove yourself worthy of the award.
May we request PGP chairperson to announce the oath of honor.
All graduating students will now take the oath of honor. Please stand up. We begin the oath now. I, Kambar Abade, as a graduate of the IIM Kozhikode, will take the responsibility of my actions and be accountable for its foreseeable consequences. I will hold every other human being in high regard, acknowledging the inherent differences, honoring the right of others to be treated with dignity. I will act with utmost integrity and pursue my work upholding the highest ethical standards. This pledge I make freely and upon my honor.
I declare the convocation closed.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलति तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
Ladies and gentlemen, the academic procession will now leave the venue. You may please remain standing till the members of the procession have left the venue. sir.